men, which goes back to your, draft concept.
Well, I'd like to ask you another question here. Do you think women should be barred from volunteering for the military?
No.
Well, that's interesting. They shouldn't be barred from volunteering, but they should be barred from being forced into conscription despite men being forced into potential conscription. I'm a little confused there.
What's confusing about that?
Well, why would you, if you're fine with women volunteering, why would you object to women being forced?
I feel like we made so many points on why women shouldn't be in war. Do I have to go over them again? I can.
Did you make points? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did actually. Like, for example, a woman being sent out to war. Well, actually, let's use her example. That was one of the best ones. If we send half women, half men to war, and we lose an incredible amount of population, what would it be of the country and our workforce? Like,
well, let's assume
women are the ones that are able to have one child at a time. Some occasions 2, 3. If you have twins, triplets, whatever. But one man can produce how many kids in a year? One man can repopulate.
Welcome back to my channel. Guys. It's White here. So checking out this Whatever podcast not like an interview or something, but Charlie Kirk was in this, so he calls out on feminists who only wants equality when it benefits her. Right. So without wasting much time, guys, let's check it out.
So then, for those of you that said you were feminists, do you see any inconsistency between saying that you want equality, but you're cool with sending men to run into machine guns to protect your society? Does anyone wrestle with that?
How do you reconcile that? Yeah.
I didn't say I was a feminist.
No, I know,
but
but some
definitely
did.
mental gymnastics, right?
No, but what I'm getting at, though, is that it's easy, and I know that you have all been so polite, but let's just dive right into it. It's easy at times to bash the patriarchy. Taylor Swift just today was one of her songs, F the patriarchy, and everyone in the concert screams that, right?
Can we Google that, Nick? Yeah.
Well, it's a lyric of one of her songs. It's some like name tag that was dropped, but she says it like a rallying cry, F the patriarchy. When it comes down to it, it's like you're cool throwing men to the front lines of war, but not yourself.
Why do you think the third wave has happened? Do you think it's revenge? Do you think it's a mind virus?
Well, I think it's...
What do you think?
It's a great question. I think that it is a idea toxin where we have really denigrated having children and staying at home for a lot of women. And some women, that's the right path. For some women, it's not the right path. But for a lot of women, it is the right path. And there needs to be an ideological reason as to why you don't get married and you don't have kids for the vast majority of the population. And they developed feminism, where they said that for young women, becoming a CEO of a shoe company is as fulfilling as having children. And for some people, that is true. But for a lot of people, that's just not true. And you look at the way Gloria Steinem wrote the feminist mystique. It was, I feel as if I'm in an open-air prison, being a stay-at-home mom, barefoot and pregnant, basically, being in the kitchen. And it started this whole push, which is where we are the same as men. And that's the problem with third-wave feminism, is that it ties with the trans movement, is they don't believe there's any sort of biological differences between men and women, which we all agree is insane, right? That men and women are made completely differently. And yeah, I think it's an intellectual and ideological cancer that needs to be crushed. And I think deep down, most people don't even believe it. And the draft argument actually, I think, really draws that out, where when it comes down to it, most American women are okay sending men to war, which you should be, by the way.
Do you young ladies, like if you feel like you say, I'd like to marry and be a stay-at-home mom and not work, if any of you would say that, I don't know, do you feel like other people would shame you, that you get more social clout by saying something else?
I think it's praised right now to be a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
At least from my social circles.
Interesting.
Like everybody.
That's a new phenomenon.
Before we do move on, I'm not going to allow.
Speak on that,
hold on. I'm not going to allow you guys to weasel your way out of Charlie's question here. So those, just show of hands, who of you guys said you were feminists? I believe you, and then you. Oh, come on! Don't reel it back here. So both of you said you're feminists, but you also said you're not in favor of women being subject to military conscription. It occurs to me that feminism, in the most, I guess, generous definition I could give it, is a movement towards equality. That's not honestly the definition I would give it, but to be charitable, I'll give it that. So how do you...
Davis donated $300. Kirk, I'm a fan, but stop that corporate nice Christian boy facade.
Being too nice.
America is on its last leg, being overrun by illegals and degenerates.
Oh, wow, okay.
A time for being nice and a time for war. Now is time for war.
This is Burger King guy.
This is Burger King. It's Mike Davis. All right, Mike Davis, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That's why men should be in war.
Yeah.
A woman would never say that.
Because they...
It's time for war. I've never uttered that
That's very
phrase in my
astute.
life.
No, that's a very smart point, actually.
And so, back to my question, those of you who consider yourself feminist, how do you reconcile being a feminist, being for equality, but also not being in favor of women being subject to forced military conscription the same way that men are? Go ahead.
Because feminism isn't just feminism.
Well,
As in,
this
if
is
you're a
funny.
feminist, you have to agree with every single thought and every single idea that every feminist pushes forward, like the draft, for example.
Well, it's not
so
clear to me if that's a feminist, like specifically a feminist position.
Well, then if I'm not a feminist under your eyes, then that's fine. I just...
Would you acknowledge, though, that that would be a pure equality between men and women?
Yeah. If everyone
So you're not
got
in
drafted,
favor of
that would be-
equality
Yeah.
when
it's beneficial
it doesn't stand to benefit women.
Yeah, but again, I never pushed for 100% equality within feminism. Not
So
every
you only
feminist
want the
believes
equality
that.
that benefits women.
No, I want the equality that benefits humanity.
Okay, so can
Like,
I
as a
interrupt?
society.
No, okay, so if that is, are you guys then okay when you find out that women might earn less in the workforce than men?
Yeah, if it falls under that same
you're consistent,
benefits humanity and society, then yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think women should be, if the women are doing the same exact job and producing the same exact amount, quantity, and quality of work, I think they should be paid the same.
Yeah.
But generally, that's not the case.
You know, you're right. Yeah, the law, you can't discriminate based on sex, but usually there's a lot of other factors such as where you went to school, what you studied. So yeah, I'm just trying to flush out the consistency or lack thereof here.
Yeah. I don't ever think it's men versus women. It's like masculine complements the feminine. So I think the new wave feminism, if they're talking about, hey, women are better than men, that's like the dumbest thing that you can ever say. I think women complement men, which goes back to your, draft concept.
Well, I'd like to ask you another question here. Do you think women should be barred from volunteering for the military?
No.
Well, that's interesting. They shouldn't be barred from volunteering, but they should be barred from being forced into conscription despite men being forced into potential conscription. I'm a little confused there.
What's confusing about that?
Well, why would you, if you're fine with women volunteering, why would you object to women being forced?
I feel like we made so many points on why women shouldn't be in war. Do I have to go over them again? I can.
Did you make points? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did actually. Like, for example, a woman being sent out to war. Well, actually, let's use her example. That was one of the best ones. If we send half women, half men to war, and we lose an incredible amount of population, what would be of the country and our workforce? Like
well,
she said,
let's assume
women are the ones that are able to have one child at a time. Some occasions, 2, 3, if you have twins, triplets, whatever. But one man can produce how many kids in a year? One man can repopulate a population so much quicker than a woman can.
Okay, well, let's assume the conflict we get involved in is similar to Vietnam, where it's not like we're drafting like huge swaths of the U.S. population. It's more like, I just Googled it. I think the United States military conscripted 2 million service personnel throughout the course of Vietnam War.
World War II was way more than that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we lost, 1 million from a population perspective, I don't think it would be catastrophic.
But again, those 1 million women aren't just 1 million women randomly. They're occupying special type of forces. Like, for example, teachers. How many teachers would we lose because
What
of
do you
that?
mean? We would get like 18 to 22-year-olds. They're in the middle of doing OnlyFans or college or something.
All of Isla Vista would end up being the Marines. So can I ask?
If you
Okay.
LeBron Aces donated $300. Get rid of those silly
know why I'm
Australian
triggering. I
headbands
don't know why I'm
twins.
triggering.
I have been to Australia and all their women are like them. Replace them with Jojo Leche bags.
Okay.
Charlie Cook looks like he's battling Metro Man.
Metro Man?
Anyone know what that means?
I have no idea what.
I think they're saying
okay.
you look metrosexual.
Oh, really? Great.
Rude. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it, I
That
guess.
was so cute.
So random.
Oh, I see what happened there. Okay. All right. Where were we? We were. I forgot.
So can I just ask a question? So if you are with your boyfriend or husband and there's a home intruder in the house, who would you expect your husband to put himself first into that situation to take care of it?
Absolutely. I mean,
Or
I know-
husband, boyfriend, or male counterpart?
I mean, I know my husband and I have had this conversation multiple times. I mean, we have multiple guns in the house, and he's told me, he's like, go hide in the bathroom and hide in the closet. He's like, and I'll take care of you. I mean, and I know where the guns are, and I know how to use them, just in case he dies for some reason. Or I can, shoot and hopefully scare somebody away.
Right.
Yeah, let's go back
I
to
think
that.
you were maybe in the middle of making a point. You said, well, that they would be teachers, and so that's why we
Well,
shouldn't
you were
draft
saying
them.
how like 1 million
Said
women dying doesn't really
population-wide.
hurt society, and I was saying that it does because women have a higher amount of like in certain roles, like for example,
Women's
like
jobs are
nursing.
more valuable. Is that
No,
the argument you're
I'm
making?
saying like a lot of women's jobs are already majority women.
Right, but I was arguing
So
your
if-
point about like you were making this point of, well, if all the women go and die to war, how are we going to repopulate? But
Yeah.
like I don't think any conflict would reduce the female population to such a degree that it would like have some catastrophic if they were drafted frontline, whatever.
But like we're already at
Actually, it'd probably be good. I'm going to get canceled for this. It'd actually probably be good for the population if women got drafted, because here's what happens actually with the volunteer force of women. If they ever do face a deployment, a lot of these female soldiers just get pregnant to avoid having to be deployed.
Genius.
So it actually, this
The
is
fertility rate would
Charlie,
go up.
Hold on, Charlie. I think actually conservatives need to get on board with the female draft.
But no, you have to stay pregnant.
Charlie, I need you to commit on the whatever podcast here that you
No,
actually are in
I-
favor of the female draft, because they get drafted, right? We draft only women, and then they're gonna get pregnant so they can avoid being deployed. A lot of women do
If
that.
there, if
lot
there
of
is a
women do
pregnancy
that.
exemption, they still allow certain
Right, what
pregnant
if-
women to.
what if-
No, if you're pregnant, you can't be deployed.
How about like only third trimester can't get deployed, but first
I'm
and
just-
second.
look,
they
I'm
can?
just
have, they
saying-
have pregnancy jumpsuits, but they're not in the Air Force, which is just
I think this
insane.
could be a
But-
great talking
Yeah.
point for the
No, it's a real
conservative
thing.
party. Let's draft the women, and then we'll fix the population problem.
Which we have a huge
lot of women will
we have a
get.
huge
A lot of
population
women get pregnant. We will have to ban schmishmortion, and just
And then everyone's
For
going
that-
to be raised in a
okay.
single parent
Getting-
household. That's horrible.
no.
I hate
of
that.
course,
I hate
they
that
get
for
married
everyone.
or something. They get married.
They get married to their husband who's deployed. Also,
why not?
everything sucks.
We'll figure it out. Anyways,
War is bad across the board.
but wait. So okay, don't draft women because then we can't repopulate. Is that kind of the argument?
Yeah, that was one of them. Yeah.
Okay. What if we only draft like 100, or excuse me, not 100, 1 million women?
Okay, so you want to put a marker on we can draft 1 million women and unlimited men. Wouldn't that also not be equal under
No,
your
just
eyes?
like say 1 million women, 1 million men, or 10 million
Okay.
women, 10 million men. That would
Okay,
be equal.
And if they can prove that those 1 million women are competent and would advance the war just as much as those 1 million
Probably
men.
not, but
Exactly,
we
that's
still
my
draft
point.
them.
No, but that's
No,
my
but
point.
equality, we still draft them.
equality,
But
come
wouldn't
on.
you want in a war, the people
Then
going
why
to
do we
war-
have women for the volunteer force, which you're in favor of?
Because I do believe that the women who are volunteering know that they can provide quite a bit to the war. They're not just like,
Oh, really?
Bro, she's not making any points. She's actually not making any points. But, bro, these old feminism stories messed up, guys. They can't really define or explain what they want. Like I mean, when it comes to the tough times, I mean, everybody switches. They start talking about stuff like this is not how we define it, or this is not how we mean it. Stuff like that. It's all messed up, guys. I don't see the point of talking out. This shouldn't even be it. I don't see the whole point of this feminism stuff being like a debate or something like that. If you can actually prove that what you are saying is consistent, they can't when it comes to like tough times, you can actually take responsibility for stuff like that. Not like push yourself aside and be like, no, this is not for us, and then this is just for the men. Like it's all messed up, guys. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this thing down in the comment section. See you guys in the next video. Peace.